When did you realize you were prioritizing your day job over filmmaking?
Well, I will say this. Look, market research for a film is actually, you wouldn't think it, but there is some sexiness to it. Like there is you get to meet all these great filmmakers that you maybe idolized or whatever. You're sitting there and at a certain point, as you rise up fail up the ladder, let's say, you become sort of their confidant, like the filmmakers. You're their priest, you're their rabbi, you're their confidant. You're the person that's going to tell them the truth. Whereas a studio has an agenda over here, you have no agenda. You're just like, dude, this is what's going on. This is what the scores are. You might think about this, you might think about that. And they take it away just as they do because they know that, look, you have no dog in the fight. And so there is a sexiness to that, which is interesting. I was also party to opening up offices in New York and London and Sydney, Australia. So there was definitely a travel aspect to it. So there was fun doing that, no doubt. But I realized as the years went on that I could be very easily stuck in this sort of gilded cage, if you will, and be quite content. But I'd always harken back to God, I really wanted to produce films. This was the main thing. I think I would get a lot of enjoyment if I could just not have the fear, not have the hesitance, because you are look, they're paying you well. You get to meet all these different people, oh, hello, Mr. Hanks, whatever, you are kind of part of production in a way, even though you're not really part of production. So you can become very comfortable, I guess is my point. And it took kind of a life, reaffirming event where I, unfortunately got divorced. And I was sort of what is it all about? And I had that moment and I started deciding I think I'm meant for something else. I can take this knowledge that I have, having been in this industry, and I think it's much different than a lot of producers have. A lot of producers don't think about things the way we think about things, because we're thinking about, when I read a script, I'm actually writing down what I think the trailer moments are, right? I'm thinking about marketing this film. Look, I want it to be entertaining. I want us to have moments of cinema, and hopefully on the script level you see that, right? But I also am not naive to think, who is this movie for? That's a big question people don't ask themselves when they're actually reading a script. Who is this movie for? Who would want to see this film? And it can't just be your amazing vision and the director is well, I think this could be, who wants to buy a ticket to this movie, right? That's what I think. You have to think that way. You know that when you're going to sell the film, that's what the distributor's thinking. And if it's so artsy and whatever else, and it's oh, I wanted to do a movie for my cousin's husband's child who has, whatever syndrome, it's not going to work. Who wants to see that movie? What audience can you connect with on the script level for that movie? A lot of producers and even filmmakers don't ask themselves that question. And should this movie even be made, right? Those are the questions that I ask, because I've seen films when they've been made, and I sit there and I'm who gave this $2 million? That money is never coming back. I just want you to know that. It's never coming back. Thank God your uncle is rich, because he can take the blow of that $2 million never coming back. You have to think about those things when you're thinking about making a movie, and I don't think a lot of filmmakers do. So I think about that because of the background I came from. I also think about do's and don'ts of things I've seen that have not worked in the past that, that certainly shouldn't have been done, before you make the movie. I know those things that you really shouldn't do. For example, if you're doing a romantic comedy and the guy breaks up with the girl, right? Well, there's always the best friend of the girl that's got to console her during that part. If you don't do that, then people are going to not like that character, and your overall scores for the enjoyment of the movie is going to go down. So always have that in there. If there's going to be a scene in your romantic comedy when the guy breaks up with the girl in some dirty way and she's heartbroken and she's eating the ice cream, her friend is on the couch right next to her consoling her and telling her what a dirtbag that guy is, right? So you need that scene, right? So there's little things like that, because there are 100 different things like this that I know that I can just see and I remember just from memory of, don't do that. I can see that in the script level. Don't do that. Do this instead, So anyway, that's a weird sort of thing that I think a lot of people who work in market research bring to the table. Also, in terms of crafting a campaign, if you work side by side with the studios, every day, you see when a movie is not testing so well. Well, what do? Okay, I also tested that trailer. Let me see what they did. Oh, they put everything in the trailer to give the whole movie away. Because they know the bamboozle is on to some extent, right? They know they need to get, butts in those seats. Like, that's their main thing. They know the word of mouth is going to be crap on it, but they do want to still make some of their money back, right? So they will give away everything in the trailer, for instance. And for example, if you made a movie and you know that it's not, it's not testing so well, or it's not being, it wasn't your thing you initially envisioned, then you maybe need to cut the best trailer you can and have the best poster you can. Because that's, to get people's money back, that's what you're gonna need, for example.
If you are interested in storytelling, you may also like our new book, Story Questions. It's a story tool that offers you over 1,500 story questions that you can use as story prompts. It's packed with over 40 categories, so whether you are in the brainstorming stages, developing characters, dialogue, or rewriting, it can help you at every stage of the writing process. Think about this statement. Most powerful stories are just great answers to strong questions. We've linked up to story questions in the information section below.